Hello, hi, welcome everyone. This is Kogi Itui, and today allow me to take you back memory lane because, as the French say, that history repeats itself, and it is true. I have found out that when lessons are not learned, history keeps repeating itself. But if lessons are learned, history wanes, the repetitions wanes down the linear progression. Today, let me take you to apartheid government times. The following speech is made by former South African PW Botha to his cabinet. This reprint was written by David G. Mailu for the Sunday Times, a South African newspaper dated August 18, 1985. Back to the 85 guys. Pretoria, as he quotes, as P.W. Botha starts, was made up by the white man for the white man. We are not obliged even the least to try to prove to anybody and to the blacks that we are a superior people. We have demonstrated that to the blacks in 1,001 ways. The Republic of South Africa that we know of today has not been created by wishful thinking. We have created it at the expense of intelligence, sweat and blood. Were they the Afrikaners who tried to eliminate the Australian Aborigines? Are they the Afrikaners who discriminated against blacks and called them niggers in the States? Were they the Afrikaners who started the slave trade? Where is the black man appreciated? England discriminates against its black, and their Seuss law is out to discipline the blacks. Canada, France, and Russia, Japan all play their discrimination too. Why in the hell then is so much noise made about us? Why are they biased against us? I'm simply trying to prove to you that there's nothing unusual we are doing that the so-called civilized worlds are not doing. We are simply an honest people who have come out aloud with a clear philosophy of how we want our life to live our own white lives. We do not pretend like other whites that we like blacks. The fact that blacks look like human beings and act like human beings do not necessarily make them sensible human beings. Hedgehogs are not porcupines and lizards are not crocodiles simply because they look alike. If God wanted us to be equal, He would have created us in a uniform color and intellect. But He created us differently. Whites, blacks, yellow, rulers, and the ruled. Intellectually, we are superior to the blacks. That has been proven beyond any reasonable doubt over the years. I believe the Afrikaner is an honest, God-fearing person who has demonstrated practically the right way of being. Nevertheless, it is comforting to know that behind the scenes, Europe, America, Canada, and Australia, and all the others are behind us in spite of what they say. For diplomatic relations, we all know that language that should be used and where. To prove my point, comrades, does any one of you know a white country without an investment in South Africa? Who buys our gold? Who buys our diamonds? Who trades with us? Who is helping us to develop nuclear weapon? The truth is that we are their people and they are our people. It's a big secret. The strength of our economy is backed by America, Britain, and Germany. It is our strong conviction, therefore, that the black is the raw material for the white man. So, brothers and sisters, let us join hands to fight against the black devil. I appeal to all Afrikaners to come out with any creative means of fighting this war. Surely, God cannot forsake His own people whom we are. By now, every one of us has been seen practically that blacks cannot rule themselves. Give them guns and they will kill each other. They are good in nothing but making noise, dancing, marrying many wives, and indulging in sex. Let us accept that the black man is the symbol of poverty, mental inferiority, laziness, and emotional incompetence. Isn't it plausible, therefore, that the white man is created to rule the black man? Come to think of what should happen one day if you woke up and on the throne sat a kafir. Can you imagine what would happen to our women? Does any one of you believe that the blacks can rule this country? Hence, we have good reasons to let them, all the Mandelas, rot in prison. And I think we should be commended for having kept them alive in spite of what we have at hand with which to finish them off. I wish to announce a number of new strategies that should be put to use to destroy the black bag. We should now make use of chemical weapons. Priority number one: we should not by all means allow any more increase of the black population, lest we be choked very soon. I have exciting news that our scientists have come up with an efficient staff. I am sending out more researchers to the field to identify as many venues as possible where the chemical weapon would be employed to combat any further population increases. The hospital is a very strategic opening, for example, and should be utilized. The food supply channel should be used. We have developed excellent slow-killing poisons and fertility destroyers. Our only fear is that in case such stuff came into their hands, as they are bound to start using it against us if you care to think of the many blacks working for us in our homes. However, we are doing the best we can to make sure that the stuff remains strictly in our hands. Secondly, most blacks are vulnerable to money inducements. I have set aside a special fund to exploit this avenue. The old trick of divide and rule is still very valid today. Our experts should work day and night to set the black man against his fellow man. His inferior sense of morals can be exploited beautifully. And here is a creature that lacks foresight. There is need for us to combat him in long-term projections that he cannot suspect. The average black does not plan his life beyond a year. That stance, for example, should be exploited. My special department is already working around the clock to come up with a long-term operation blueprint. I'm also sending a special request to all African mothers to double their birth rate. It may be necessary to set up a population boom industry by putting up centers where we employ and support fully white young men and women to produce children for the nation. We are also investigating the merit of uterus rentals as possible means of speeding up the growth of our population through surrogate mothers. For the time being, we should also engage in higher gear to make sure that black men are separated from their women and fines imposed upon married wives who bear illegitimate children. I have a committee working on finding a better methods of inciting blacks against each other and encouraging murders among them. Murder cases among blacks should bear very little punishment in order to encourage them. My scientists have come up with a drug that could be smuggled into their brews to effect slow poisoning results and fertility destruction. Working through drinks and manufacturing of soft drinks geared to the blacks could promote the channels of reducing the population. Ours is not a war that we can use the atomic bomb to destroy the black, so we must use our intelligence to effect this. The person-to-person encounter can be very effective. As the records show that the black man is dying to go to bed with a white woman, here is our unique opportunity. Our sex mercenary squad should go out and camouflage with apartheid fighters while doing their operation quietly, administering slow-killing poison and fertility destroyers to those blacks they thus befriend. We are modifying the sex mercenary squad by introducing white men who should go up against the militant black woman and any other vulnerable black woman. We have received a new supply of prostitutes from Europe and America who are desperate and too keen to take up the appointments. My latest appeal is that the maternity hospital operation should be intensified. We are not paying those people to help bring black babies to this world, but to eliminate them on the very delivery moment. If this department worked very efficiently, a great deal could be achieved. My government has set aside a special fund for erecting more overt hospitals and clinics to promote this program. Money can do anything for you, so while we have it, we should make the best use of it. In the meantime, my beloved white citizens, do not take to heart that what the word says. Don't be ashamed of being called a racist. I do not mind being called the architect and king of apartheid. I shall not become a monkey simply because someone has called me a monkey. I will still remain your bright sir, His Excellency Bother. End of quotes. So, what are the productions we can learn from this speech? The white mind for the white man has no wishful thinking. Everything is planned. In apartheid, there was an overt discrimination against the covert discrimination practiced in other white countries. Africans are susceptible to self-destruction avenues. The white man fears African population and so wants to check it. Black man does not plan beyond a year. He lacks foresight. White man is determined to boost his population. White women are said are sent to ensnare the black man. Hospitals are used for health sabotages. This may explain, in part, the rumors we received that HIV indeed was used by the apartheid government and introduced to the black population to check their population. This explains the high rate of HIV and AIDS infection in those populace of the black people. And what are the deductions we can learn? The black mind needs to develop an intrinsic identity. We need to look back at the original black man who had plans. Look at Egypt, the civilization in Egypt, Ethiopia, and other empires, the Songhai. How does the African halt his self-destruction plans? How does the African get to control his fertility? How does the African plan beyond 1,000 years to actualize his plans? The black man needs to celebrate and empower his prophets of foresight. Like me, how do we get to empower the African not to overrate lust, sex, lavish lifestyle that are used against him? Finally, how can the African develop his own health blueprint system? We know we are dependent on vaccines, imported medicines, imported healthcare, especially imported health equipments, and this can be sabotaged to check our population. These pertinent questions need address, for we are faced against an adversary who is a master in deception and rule, and divide and rule, a master of deception, even dragging the name of God in his justification of his evil plans, a master of setting up oppressive systems to curtail the dawn of the black man. Rise up, the black man. Wake up, the mighty men of war. Thank you.